Okay, on Schoology, I've got a list of some of the uses of por and others of para. I just wanted to go through this with you real quick. We've done this before, and I've got a more detailed video on por versus para. If you need that, you can go look at the resources in our landing page. There's a folder called Video Lessons and Notes, and I've got a few things on por and para. But I just put a little quick list on here so you can have reference, because what I want you to do when you're going through these two activities is to identify why, which of these reasons that are listed here for por is why you use por in your answer, and the same thing here with para. So let me just run through them real quick. General location, we're talking with por, is we're talking the around, by, near, along, through, those kinds of words. Where when we have the para, we're talking about the destination, where you're going to end up, where you're going in the direction towards where are you going? So general location versus destination. It's kind of a general theme with por and para. Por is kind of the way you get things done, the middle part of it. Again, this is just a decent rule of when you're in doubt. There's so many more uses of it that don't really follow that, but for a few of them, we can kind of think of that por is that middle part, the way you accomplish something, where para is the end result. So we might travel through this place and this place to por, and then where we end up, the destination, para. The duration, how long something takes, por. Because of, with por, this is because of this, due to this, on account of this, we use por. You might hear the word reason sometimes, but I avoid the word reason because I think that gets a little bit mixed up with the purpose or goal. And what's the reason for doing something? What's the purpose or the goal for doing something? But what's the reason that the game was canceled? Because of the rain, por la lluvia. We would use por in that case because of it. So if you ever need to say because of, we're usually using por. Object of a search. So this would be something where you are, again, looking for something, but you went to go get something. If I went to the store for some meat, fui a la tienda por la carne. So what I did is that was what I was looking for, but I'm going to take that meat and I'm taking it home with me. So you can think of it, I described it in my other video as, fetching, because you're going to get it and then take it with you. If I'm taking, I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to take you to the party. That would be, or if I'm coming to get you from your house, I would use por, talking about, I'm coming for you, por ti. Now that is something that we do with, again, I call it fetching. I don't really, it's not always exactly that way, but you can think of I'm going to get something and then it's going to go somewhere else. Even in a verb, like I'm asking for you. Pregunto por ti. I'm asking for you. Meaning this is what I need. I need this person. I need you. And then I'm hoping to get some sort of communication back to me. So object of a search, is a decent way to think of it, or fetching, but those will go with por. Means by which something is done. Kind of already alluded to this one with the general location, meaning like the way you get something accomplished, and that we were talking about traveling, but it's also can be with other things besides travel. It definitely can be used with travel, and it is used a lot. You could say por coche, por avión, por tren, but you can also do like por Michigan, por Canada, por los Estados Unidos, traveling through those places. But means of which I'm getting something done, I can communicate. How? Por la charla, por correo electrónico, por teléfono. So that's another one with por. Exchange or substitution, real common with prices of something. I paid this much money for that. Pagué $20 por esta camiseta. I paid $20 for this t-shirt. It could also be, I'm going to replace this with this. I'm going to work for this person. Trabajo por este hombre. Unit of measure, but it's not so bad. The word per, you know, if we're going to use, you know, the word per in a, you know, miles per hour, we'll use por hora in that case. 3 times a week, 3 veces por semana. Así. Passive voice, we won't worry about that one just yet, but that's the by, as in like this is written by, this was done by, designed by, por is the word we use. And then times, that's usually represented with the X. You can see here, you know, when I say times, dos por dos son cuatro. That's the dos por is the times. So oftentimes when you want to say the word por, you'll see that abbreviated with an X to represent that. You had a reading the other day with that. Now para, you can see drop dead is in here. I talked about that a little bit, but D-R-O-P, and then dead right there. Destination, recipient, opinion, purpose, and deadline. Of course, it's not everything in there, but it is a pretty good way to keep some of the main uses of para straight. But we already talked about destination. Recipient, you know, who's going to get something. This is a gift for you, para ti, para mí, para ella. The opinion, this would be kind of replacing en mi opinión. Para mí is en mi opinión. You know, to me, you might be saying para mí, you know, I think this. Para mí, yo creo que es algo ridículo, in my opinion. En mi opinión, para mí. Purpose, what's the purpose? This purpose and goal kind of go hand in hand. You might separate them as I've got on here in the parentheses. You know, used for, what's the purpose? What is it used for? What's these are, this is a game for kids. Es un juguete or toy para niños. This is, you know, this is a game for adults, para adultos, but we use para in there. The goal, what is the, you know, the goal is like, I'm doing something in order to accomplish something. I am, you know, tengo prisa para llegar a tiempo. You know, I'm in a hurry, you know, so I can arrive on time. What's the purpose or what's the goal of doing something or the purpose of doing something? You know, para, in order to do this, in order to pass my class, yo estudio para pasar la clase. Deadline, you know, it says due by this day, it's due by tomorrow, it's para mañana. Comparison, this would be, you put para and then the group of people you want to compare. What's that thing they have in common to compare them? You know, for a student, you know, this person is really smart, you know, or para, or maybe for a young person, para un joven, para un estudiante, es muy inteligente. Employment, you know, whom you work for, use para. Yo trabajo para la escuela. All right. So anyways, those are just a real quick breakdown of por and para. I definitely go into much more detail in the other videos. You might want to check those out if you're still a little bit confused. Otherwise, what I want you to do now is to go through these exercises of this one here, por or para, on Descubre. And then we're going to answer these questions right here and see if you can figure out whether you use por or para in each of these blanks. And then I want you to come back to here in Schoology to see why. Why was it por or why was it para? So I'm going to do this one with you, and then I'm going to let you do the other exercise, the correcto o incorrecto, on your own, or you can work with a classmate. So here we go. First one here. Necesito comprar un vestido. So I'm going to go through this. You know, you might want to pause it for a second and see if you can go through these answers on your own before I go through them. But so, you know, as I get through it, just pause the video whenever you need to. But I'm not going to hold up for you. Okay, so if you need to control the video, pause the video, and I will, you know, I'll stop when you push the pause button. But otherwise, I'm just going to kind of run through these at my own pace. So I need to, as I'm saying here, is I need to buy a dress for the party. That is for the party. That is the purpose. That is the purpose of this. So I'm using para. This is the dress. The purpose of this dress is for a party. Voy a estar en Argentina. I'm going to use por 2 semanas because this is the duration. Durations with por. This is how long something lasts for. Por 2 semanas. La cámara es un regalo para Eduardo. This is the recipient. Eduardo is going to get this gift. He's the recipient. And remember, recipient is para. Compré unos libros por internet. This is the means by which we got this done. I bought some books through the internet. This is how I got it done, which is the means by which something is done right here. Por. In the last one, quiere caminar. Now this one you might be thinking por, you might be thinking para. They both could be correct. Just one implies, this one means we're asking, do you want to walk around the park? I mean, general location, which is right here, that very first one, general location. Or if we hop over here, destination, we could also just walk to the park. That could be your intention to say. So they both would make sense. I'm not sure what happens if I put either in there, but let's see how we did. And all right, we're good. I'm going to check this real quick. Let's see. If I do por el parque, would that also make sense? I believe it will. I would think they'll accept that as well. So let's run through this again. Para la fiesta, por 2 semanas, para Eduardo, por internet, and por el parque conmigo. All right, still checks out. All right, so let's do the other exercise now. We're going to do the correcto or incorrecto, but I'm going to have you, oh, I already have it done here. Spoiler. So I did this one with my other class. Hopefully you don't cheat and just pause on that screen and go through this. But more importantly, this isn't just about figuring out whether it's correct or incorrect. I want to know why. If you think el autobús pasó por los bosques, why is por the right preposition to use, or should we have used para in that case? This actually is correct, but why? Can you come back here and figure out why that is the case? All right. Buena suerte. Now, we were supposed to have a quiz on this next class. If you notice in the calendar, it was postponed, so we will have another day to do some practice with it. All right, chicos. Adios.